The camera doesn't shake. It holds still, locked on a pair of hands. They're not Tiger Woods' hands. They're smaller. Younger. They're gripping the edge of a marble countertop somewhere inside a property that most people will never set foot in. The timestamp on a security feed reads 11:47 p.m. Outside, the last of the guests are gone. The caterers are packing up. The music has stopped. But inside this kitchen, lit only by the cold glow of a pendant light, a 16-year-old boy is sitting completely alone. And if you look closely, really close, you can see it. The way his jaw tightens. The way his fingers press white against the stone. Because tonight, the world celebrated him. Tonight, millions of dollars were spent on his name. And right now, in this exact moment, Charlie Woods is the loneliest person in this mansion. We just don't know why yet. Subscribe to this channel. Every story we tell here is one most channels are too afraid to touch. There is a name in golf that doesn't just carry weight, it carries history. Tiger Woods. Say it anywhere on the planet and people know exactly who you're talking about. 14 major championships. Billions of dollars in earnings and endorsements. A comeback so dramatic it rewrote the narrative of what's possible in professional sports. Tiger Woods isn't just an athlete. He is a symbol. And for decades, that symbol has stood for dominance, resilience, and an almost superhuman refusal to lose. But symbols don't exist in a vacuum. Behind every icon, there are people who live inside the shadow that icon casts every single day. And for Tiger Woods, that shadow falls hardest on his son. Charlie. Charlie Woods turned 16. And what happened next made international headlines, not because of what Charlie did, but because of what was done for him. Let's go back to the beginning. Not the beginning of the party. The beginning of the name. Tiger Woods was already a myth by the time Charlie was born in 2009. The boy came into a world where his father's face was on magazine covers, cereal boxes, television screens. Where the surname Woods didn't just open doors, it blew them off their hinges. From the very first moment Charlie could walk, could hold a golf club, the cameras were watching. And the question that followed him, quietly at first, then louder and louder, was always the same: is he going to be like his dad? Think about that for a second. You are 9 years old. You are 10. And the entire sporting world is already measuring you against the greatest golfer who ever lived. Have you ever felt that kind of pressure? That quiet, invisible weight that sits on your chest before you've even had the chance to figure out who you actually are? If that thought makes you uncomfortable, it should. Drop a comment right now and tell us what that would do to a kid. Because this story is about to get heavier. Charlie did pick up a golf club. And when he did, something happened that surprised almost no one. He was good. Genuinely good. Videos surfaced online of him hitting shots that no child his age should be capable of. Tiger himself began coaching Charlie on the course. Father and son, side by side, in the same sport that made Tiger immortal. It looked beautiful from the outside. Heartwarming, even. A legacy being passed down. But here is what cameras never capture: the weight of expectation doesn't feel like motivation when you're a teenager. It feels like a cage. By the time Charlie was 15, he was competing in amateur junior tournaments. And he was performing, not just performing, winning. He took the golf world's attention and held it. Social media exploded every time he played. Every swing was analyzed. Every score was compared. Not to other juniors. To Tiger. Always to Tiger. The bar wasn't set high. It was set at the top of a mountain that only one person in history had ever climbed. And Charlie was expected to climb it too. Now. The birthday. Charlie Woods turned 16 in early 2025. And Tiger Woods, the man who once told the press he wanted to give his children a normal life, threw a party that shattered every idea of what normal could possibly mean. The details that leaked to the public were staggering. Reports indicated that the celebration cost somewhere in the range of $3 million. $3 million. For a single night. For one teenager's birthday. To put that number in perspective, the median home price in the United States is roughly $400,000. That means Tiger Woods spent the equivalent of 7 to 8 American homes on a single evening. In one night. For one kid. But numbers alone don't tell you why this story matters. Numbers don't explain the silence that followed. The guest list was curated. Not publicly released, but whispered about athletes, entertainers, and figures from the kind of world most people only see in movies. The venue was private. The security was layered. Every single detail, was controlled. This wasn't a party thrown carelessly. This was a party engineered. Designed. Constructed with the same precision Tiger brings to every major championship he's ever won. And that precision tells you something important about the man behind it. Tiger Woods does not do anything halfway. He never has. From the way he practices, to the way he competes, to the way he plans, everything is calculated. Everything is intentional. So when he spent $3 million on his son's birthday, it wasn't reckless. It was deliberate. The question is, deliberate toward what? Here is where the story splits into two directions. And most people only look at one. The first direction is the obvious one. Tiger Woods is worth an estimated $1.5 billion. He can afford this. It's a fraction of his wealth. A man who has earned that much, who has endured that much, who has fought back from injuries and public humiliation and near-fatal car crashes, he has earned the right to celebrate his family however he wants. And if giving his son an extraordinary night brings joy, if it says you matter, you are loved, you are celebrated, then who are we to judge that? Money, when used to create genuine connection, isn't the villain. It's the tool. But the second direction, that's the one that keeps people up at night. And this is interpretation. This is reading between the lines of what we know about fame, about pressure, about the Woods family dynamic. But the pattern is there if you're willing to look at it. A $3 million party doesn't just celebrate a child. It signals. It performs. It says to the world, look at what we have. Look at what this family is. And for a 16-year-old boy who is already drowning in the weight of his father's name, a party like that doesn't shrink the spotlight. It turns it up. Does that make Tiger Woods a bad father? Absolutely not. Does it mean the intention was to harm his son? Of course not. But intention and impact are not the same thing. And Charlie Woods didn't ask to be the center of a spectacle. He didn't ask for the headlines. He didn't ask for the world to put a price tag on his childhood and debate whether it was too much. He just wanted to turn 16. If this story is hitting you somewhere deep, if you've ever felt like someone else's dream was placed on your shoulders before you found your own, hit that like button. Not because we need it. Because it means you understand what it feels like to be seen. And Charlie Woods, for all the gold and the glamour, has rarely been truly seen. The weeks after the party were quiet. Unusually quiet. No social media posts from Charlie. No interviews. No confirmation of what actually happened inside those walls. The silence from the Woods family was deliberate, and in a family that has always been deliberate, silence says more than words ever could. Tiger Woods has spent his entire career controlling the narrative. Every press conference, every public appearance, every statement carefully measured. The man is a master of information control. And after this party, the information he chose to release was nothing. He let the rumors breathe. He let the headlines do their work. And that strategy, whether conscious or not, kept the story alive for weeks. Kept people talking. Kept the Woods name in the conversation. And here, we have to ask ourselves something uncomfortable. Something that most documentaries about celebrity would never touch. Is it possible, just possible, that the extravagance of this party was never entirely about Charlie? Is it possible that part of this was about Tiger? About the image? About proving, once again, that Tiger Woods lives in a world the rest of us can only watch from the outside? We're not saying he's a selfish father. We're saying that when you are Tiger Woods, every action carries a second layer. Every choice is both personal and public. And a $3 million birthday party is, by its very nature, a public act. Even when it's meant to be private. Charlie Woods is growing up inside that tension. Every single day. The tension between being someone's son and being someone. Between carrying a name and trying to find your own identity underneath it. Between performing for the world and simply wanting to exist without the weight of legacy pressing down on every moment. Golf analysts and sports commentators have noted that Charlie's development as a player has been remarkably fast, but also remarkably controlled. Tiger has carefully managed how much exposure Charlie gets to competitive play, to media, to the public eye. There's a strategy there. A protective instinct wrapped inside a competitive one. Tiger knows better than anyone what this world does to young people who are thrust into it too quickly. He lived it himself. But protection and control are not the same thing either. And as Charlie moves toward 17, 18, and eventually into the professional spotlight that seems almost inevitable, the question Tiger will have to answer isn't about golf. It's about identity. It's about whether Charlie Woods can ever truly step out from behind the legend and become his own man. On his own terms. The party cost $3 million. That number will follow this story forever. It will be the headline. The talking point. The thing people remember when someone mentions the Woods family. But if you take that number away, if you strip away the venue and the guest list and the security detail and the caterers, what's left? A 16-year-old boy. In a kitchen. Alone. At 11:47 p.m. After the world finished celebrating him. What was he thinking? We'll never know for certain. Maybe he was grateful. Maybe he was overwhelmed. Maybe he was exhausted from smiling all night in a room full of people who know his father's name but don't really know him. Maybe he was wondering what it would have been like, just once, to have a birthday that nobody wrote about. Or maybe, and this is the part that stays with you, maybe he was already thinking about the next thing. The next expectation. The next comparison. The next time someone looks at him and sees Tiger first, and Charlie second. That's the real cost of this story. Not the $3 million. The cost is quieter than that. It lives in the space between who you are and who the world has already decided you're supposed to become. Tiger Woods gave his son an extraordinary night. And he will give him an extraordinary life. There is no doubt about that. The resources, the guidance, the opportunity, Charlie will never lack for any of it. But the one thing money cannot buy, the one thing even Tiger Woods cannot engineer into existence, is the freedom to be ordinary. The freedom to fail quietly. The freedom to be 16 without the whole world watching and calculating and comparing. Charlie Woods doesn't have that freedom. And that, more than any price tag, is the heaviest thing this story leaves behind. If stories like this matter to you, if you want to understand not just what happens to famous people, but what happens to the people inside their lives, then this channel is where you belong. Not because we chase headlines. Because we chase the truth behind them. Subscribe. Not for content. For the kind of stories that actually make you feel something. And Charlie Woods, wherever he is right now, whatever he's feeling tonight, we hope someone, somewhere, sees him. Not the name. Him.